Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
All right, welcome back. This is The Scoop, episode 2, week 6. My name is Chris. I'm here with my co-host, Sam.
What's up, fellas? This episode today is titled Brooklyn Decker. She was a former SI swimsuit model, and she's also in a couple movies, including Just Go With It and Battleship. And on today's docket, we have our Week 5 matchup review in our League of Record, the NFL news, listeners Fantasy Football League. We got that up and running thanks to you guys. We also have the Watch of the Week, Moves of the Week in our League of Record, NFL matchups, our matchup preview, and also our wrap-up. Let's get rolling. We are starting out today with our first 200-point game of the year in maybe league history. I don't know for sure. Anyways, Roger Goodell demolished Rick Rangers by nearly 80 points, with Goodell's wide receivers putting up another huge day, tallying over 100 points between the three. Rangers stood no chance. A 0-point day for Mike Evans is not something that you see that often. Next game we have is the Touchdowns, who beat Drogon's Dracarys behind big weeks from Kyler Murray, Adam Thielen, and George Kittle, and even with Sammy Watkins being an early exit in his game. Fournette was Drogon's only player over 20. Next we have the Recycling Ben, who moved to 4-1 with the win over Sniffers Row, who dressed 0-5 and got pink eye from the stripper last week. Russell Wilson and Michael Thomas carried the bin, and Sniffers Row best player Dalvin Cook showed up though. Next game we have Comerica, who crushed Team Trax behind 40 points in a nearly 30-point game for Allen Robinson. Trax's only bright spot was Eckler with 22 on 15 catches, might I add. Next, the last undefeated team goes down. Jake falls to Newcomer. Newcomer had a very balanced week with Sony Michel dropping 20. That proved to be too much for Johnny, whose highest scoring player was his kicker this week. Interesting. Lastly, and perhaps the greatest comeback in fantasy football history, Shrew Farms came back from 100 points down to absolutely stun Ty's tent. Who would have ever thought that Aaron Jones would outscore Christian McCaffrey? Final score was 170 to 160 in favor of Shrew.
All right. Thanks for that recap of week 5. Now we're moving into our next thing. We'll talk about our picks from last week. We'll start here, Doc. Why don't you talk about what our guest had our picks for last week?
So our guest last week was Kai, a.k.a. Ben Weenmus, Ween Dog. So his brags that he got correct. He called Wayne Gallman getting sacked, as well as sitting Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And unfortunately, neither of those two managers that had those players listened. And his two bad decisions, or his two bad predictions, were a Stephon Diggs boom, which couldn't be more far from the truth, and also an A.J. Brown boom.
Yikes. Now I'll critique your picks from last week. So, a couple of good picks that he had. He called Aaron Jones booming. Who would have thought that Aaron Jones is going to punch it in 4 times? Either, crazy.
Yeah, boy.
And he called that you should start Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's a beast. So that was a pretty easy one to do. The bad picks he had, he predicted DeAndre Hopkins just piping up for 40 points. That definitely did not happen. And he predicted Baker to boom as well. Could not be further from the mark there, Doc. Very good picks.
Yeah, come on, Chris. He's your QB. Couldn't help me out at all? Whatever. All right, so we'll go over your picks now. He called the Leonard Fournette boom, and also Sony Michel kind of went off. Not quite to what Chris said, but he still boomed. He unfortunately predicted a Michael Thomas bust. He ended up dropping 41 points. That was a pretty bad pick, too. And he also predicted a highly questionable call of Tony Pollard booming.
Hey, man, they don't pay us to make those easy picks.
Yeah, true that.
They don't pay us at all.
Yeah.
All right, now we're moving into the NFL news. I'll start with this one because it's near and dear to my heart. The Giants, all three of their big players benched. They're hurt this week. Sterling Shepard, Evan Engram, and Saquon Barkley, the heart and soul of my team. All three of them are out tonight. That hurts. That sucks.
That's going to be real bad news for you.
Yeah, the fantasy team's not going to like how that plays out. Next is AJ Green. He's not back. He's not even practicing. I'm seeing reports that he's healthy. He's holding out for a contract. There's maybe a trade going down. Doc, what do you think about all this?
I think it's interesting that you choose AJ Green to go next after picking the Giants' big three. All around your team.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's some rumors also going around that he's going to get traded by the October 29th deadline. I think that's a very good chance of happening, actually. Cincinnati's not playing for anything. If they can get something in return for him, watch him go to, New England, and all of a sudden you have A.J. Green instead of Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
There's been talks that teams have been offering a first-round pick for A.J. Green at 31 years old. I mean, he's still producing, but he's injury-prone. I think that's an offer that, if I'm Cincinnati, that I can't pass up. But, I mean, we're going into week 6 and they haven't moved him yet. I mean, I don't know. If you have a first-round pick on the table for a guy who's not playing, I don't know why you wouldn't take that, right?
Yeah, totally.
Moving in, you brought it up already, Antonio Brown on the Patriots. Now, this is a steep one, but just today I got a notification talking about some, verified reporters talking about Antonio Brown and the Patriots are talking about a comeback. Now, that would be amazing for me. I don't know if I think it's going to happen. What do you think here, Doc?
I don't think he's going to go anywhere this year. I think he ends up not going to any team, not getting signed. I don't think anybody wants to really pay him. He just got too much baggage at this point.
Yeah. And another guy that I have stashed on my bench, just praying something happens. Moving on, though, to another guy, a former Viking. He's been bounced around the league a little bit. Adrian Peterson. Callahan said that he doesn't think that AP's gotten a rhythm and wants to get him in a rhythm, so hopefully we see that this Sunday. What do you think?
I think he will get into a rhythm. We'll see how he does.
I mean, AP's still a good runner. He had a pretty good year last year. He had some big games. I mean, nothing's changed. He's still that boomer bust, I'm going to break a 60-yarder or I'm going to get hit for a yard or two. I mean, we've known that for, however long he's been in the league, but
I still hate him.
I mean, yeah, he beats kids, but he's a good runner. He's a good runner. Moving on. Notification again today. Todd Gurley missed another practice. Todd Gurley's been banged up before. We've seen this. This is somebody who could really change a couple of rosters. The outlook for the year if Gurley is already getting these banged up injuries. What do you have to say about this whole Gurley news?
I mean, I think it's going to come almost every week now. I mean, he has a chronically arthritic knee. Yeah. I mean, that just sounds terrible.
It's a mouthful.
I don't want that on my team at Ty's tent. But anyways, when he plays,
you can trade him to me. I'll take him.
When he plays, he gets touchdowns, and that's all you really need in fantasy.
I mean, as of late, though, he didn't really punch in a lot of touchdowns early, though. But, I mean, he's trending upwards until this injury news, so that kind of sucks. But next is Chris Herndon, one of my favorites, one of my guys, one of those guys I'll always stick my neck out for. I like him. I think he's very talented.
One of your 10,000 guys.
Yeah, one of 10,002 guys. He's coming off a suspension, and a lot of hype coming in because he's coming back. Darnold's back, and you're thinking he's gonna produce well, but pulls the hammy in practice, so that kind of shows, maybe he wasn't as well conditioned coming in. That sucks, but good news potentially for fantasy football. Gronk just released for about the 14th time that he's still open to coming back. Now that would be intriguing. Obviously, if he comes back, he's a must-have. I mean, don't you think so? I mean, the Patriots cut Ben Watson, so there's an opening there.
That should be an Downs move right there.
Pick him up early.
Yep.
Pick him up now and just hold on to it. I held on to Des Bryant last year, and I cut him about 2 weeks before he got picked up, and that was. I mean, he got hurt and didn't play, but.
I mean, I don't think he will play this year. I just don't see him. But on that off chance that he does come back,
he's one of the most valuable tight ends.
Yeah, totally.
All right,
he's worth a shot.
Well, if there's any other news, we didn't see it, so it doesn't matter. Moving on to the next part is our listener fantasy football league. Doc, why don't you get us into that?
So we mentioned this last week, and thanks to our listeners, we ended up getting 6 guys to be in this
endeavor.
Listeners Fantasy Football League, or the LFFL. So I created a draft pool today of wide receivers. Chris picked wide receivers as a position to choose today.
I thought it had the most variability,
Yep. So in the draft pool, we had Michael Thomas, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Julio Jones, Adam Thielen, and DeAndre Nuke Hopkins.
Yeah,
and the results were as follows. As followed.
We gave the draft order was Mike, Aaron, Austin, Ben, Connor, Colin, and then the ghost, or me and Sam. And it went, Michael took Michael Thomas, Aaron took Nuke Hopkins, Poe took Julio Jones, Ben took Cooper Kupp, Connor took Keenan Allen, and Colin Downs took, shocker, Adam Thielen. And me and Sam were stuck, not really stuck, because I think he's very talented, with Amari Cooper. I'm pretty pleased with that. What about you, Doug?
I like Cooper a lot. We'll see. He's questionable right now, but I think he'll play through it.
I mean, if he's questionable, like you said, and the rules are that you move to the next guy, I wouldn't be too, upset by having Gallup. I mean, they're playing the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if we get, we have Cooper, if we get stuck with Gallup, I'm okay with that too. I think we have a good chance of at least not taking last. But, I mean, obviously, if you're picking the top 7 to 10 guys, a lot of firepower, so we could always be last,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the best pick out of this, though, would be in the 4 spot with Ben, with Cooper Kupp. Honestly, he's a guy who could be the bottom, though, because they're playing the 49ers, and they're playing really well.
I like Connor's pick and Keenan Allen. I mean, last week was a rough week for him, but I look for him to bounce back. They play Sunday night. I think he'll show out and show that he should be higher overall on Madden, like he always says.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you really can't go wrong with any of these guys. So, moving on. So, Doc, what would be your watch of the week?
My watch of the week is... Oh my God, I'm blanking. It is called Justified. It's on FX, or it was on FX. It's kind of an older show, but so far we watched 3 episodes, and it's pretty entertaining so far. It's about a U.S. Marshal, and I enjoy it. What are you watching?
I'm busy as hell here at college, so I really don't get to watch too much. Yeah, I'm still in college, guys. But, would say like the movie I watched this week was Bounty Hunter with Gerard Butler and the Ageless Wonder Jennifer Aniston. So, I mean, she's sexy as hell, and it's a good movie. And it's kind of got some action, got some love, got some, pretty good movie all around. So, moving in next, moves of the week. We'll start here with Dokk. What do you think that? Do you want to go with what we think should happen, or what happened with the waivers and trades? Where do you want to start with this?
I'm going to start with what happened in the most recent trade involving your boy KC.
Yours truly.
Who got Juju Smith-Schuster and sends James White to Comerica. I like this trade a lot. For you, Chris, you get...
All right, we might have lost Dokk right here. Yeah, I get a receiver that I could kind of count on. A guy that I didn't really have a guy like that on my roster. I mean, my best receiver was Emmanuel Sanders and Sterling Shepard. And Shepard's out and Sanders is always just a question mark. But we got Dokk back here now. So what were you saying here?
So I like your side of the trade. Juju's a top name guy. James White's kind of like an RB2 flex option at this point. I'm not really a fan of him, obviously as much as you were, but Juju for James White is definitely a win in my mind for Johnny looking to get back.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I needed a receiver like I was saying earlier, and I have 3 good running backs on this team. I've got Melvin Gordon, Mark Ingram, and Saquon Barkley. Going into the year, I didn't have Mark Ingram, and I made that trade with Downs for Sammy Watkins, so that helped out, bolstered a little bit. And then having James White in your flex is, I mean, his floor is so beautiful. It's like 12 points. It's awesome. But
you love trading way too
I do
much.
love trading. I'll make a trade every day if I could. But getting Melvin Gordon back so early, I have 3 like stud run. I'll say stud because Mark Ingram's he's proven himself. I like him, but I was able to move James White and get something back for him. I mean, whatever. I mean, hopefully he does well for Comerica, but hopefully Juju does better for me. What else, Doc? What else do we have?
Another trade that happened this week.
Oh, let me talk about this one. Oh my God! Between Poe and Eric, the trade was Mike Evans and Kerryon Johnson for Keenan Allen and James Conner. Now, I don't know if anybody got better here. I don't know if anybody got worse, but Kerryon's got a tough schedule ahead of him. James Conner just gets added value because Jalen Samuels just went down and he had a knee scope. He's out for about a month, so 3 to 4 weeks. That I know he's already getting a lot of touches, but with the third string quarterback, Devlin Hodges, he's going to get more touches because of that and more touches because of, not having that guy behind him. I don't know. I thought that right there, that alone, I think makes the deal in favor of Eric. Plus, he gets Keenan Allen, who, I mean, yeah, he kind of put up a dud last week, but, Keenan Allen's, I think, a better fantasy option than Mike Evans. I mean, Mike Evans has Chris Godwin and, Jameis Winston throwing him the ball. Famous Jameis is not the most consistent guy. But, I mean, the next competition you have for Keenan Allen's a running back. You're not really worried about Mike Williams taking away a bunch of targets from you. He's never been a high target guy. I mean, am I wrong here, Doc?
No, I mean, you're totally right. I think Keenan Allen, as long as he stays healthy, he's probably a top 10 wide receiver, especially in PPR. Philip Rivers just loves him.
4 targets.
Yeah. Something that could cut into him, Hunter Henry might be back this week.
Okay, but he'll be back for 2 weeks before he gets hurt again.
Yeah, because he's chronically injured.
Yeah, he's got a chronic, I don't know how my body's working.
Yeah. Thanks for drafting him, Drogons.
Yeah. The more I talk about it, though, the more I do. Like I said, at first I did say I didn't know who it favored, but then in the middle of it, I kind of realized I think it favors Eric a lot. And that really sucks considering Eric, it was a divisional, we have divisions in our league, and it was a divisional trade. And it just helps the other guy out, Poe being 0-5 and maybe getting the lesser end of this deal and helping out somebody else in the division too. That might have been a fatal mistake. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope it makes Eric worse and helps Poe maybe get a little bit going. So
I honestly think it's not that big of a difference or like as lopsided as you're saying. I really do think that probably Eric got the slight edge there, but it's not by much. I mean, Keenan Allen is injury prone, so is James Conner. Really, the only one that's actually been healthy has been like Mike Evans. Kerryon Johnson was injured at the end of last year. So really, I don't think it's that big of an edge for Rick, but I would give it to him.
Yeah. What about these pickups? I know I had to get a tight end. I have Evan Engram, and he went down. I had to toss a little FAB over at Gerald Everett. What do you think about that pickup?
I tried getting him. I didn't bid. What was it, like 16?
Yeah, I put 16 on his head.
Yeah, I bid like 3. I don't know. I mean, he's so hit or miss. It's, I'm getting 20 points or I'm getting 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Higbee's there, and they already have 3 wide receivers, and obviously Gurley, they have a lot of weapons. So, I mean, it really just depends on week to week. But I think it's about as good as you could have done on waivers.
Yeah, I didn't really have much to work with tight end-wise that was even worth playing. I'm looking here at this transaction list. I don't really care about much of this. I mean, Gardner Minshew for 15 is a little steep, but he had Baker. So, I mean, getting Minshew's a nice pickup. Downs going and getting Goff for 26. I mean, he dropped Tom Brady earlier this year. That hurts. And then he has Kyler. He's going to play Goff maybe 1 week, and that'd be the bye week. I don't know. I mean, we see a lot of these other pickups. Defenses doesn't really matter. Whoop-de-doo.
Roger Goodell needed a running back, so he went and got let me trip over a white line Murray.
Hall of Fame, GOAT, best running back in the league, Murray, you meant.
No.
And he also dropped both of his KC receivers, which coming with Tyreek Hill coming back, I'm not too upset with, but I think he should have kept DeMarcus Robinson.
They're so hit or miss, though.
You're not wrong, but I think DeMarcus Robinson carries a decent value, though. Like Sammy Watkins is hurt. He's gonna be on the field, but he did get the 2 running backs he needed. Latavius Murray, former Johnny member, wasn't cutting it, had to let him go, and Jonathan Hilliman. I don't mind those pickups. I think Hilliman actually that's not a bad pickup. And then I see Rick Rangers dropping Dorsett, who's hurt right now, understandable, for the new Pitt backup, Benny Snell. We talked about Jalen Samuels being out almost a month. That could be a decent pickup too, I think. What do you think? No big names here. There's no big names in the waivers at this point in the season.
True. I don't think any moves are really that big right now. Just in this week. It doesn't really matter.
I do think, though, with DeMarcus Robinson and Mecole Hardman hitting the waivers, that could add another big waiver pickup later this year because of them having those big play potentials. So we could see their names coming up again in a week or two for a decent amount of money if they can, continue to put up money or put up points.
Did someone pick up that Pringle dude? Or
No.
am I missing that?
Pringle is still on waivers.
That's surprising to me. I thought for sure somebody'd throw some cash on it, but maybe that's what everybody else was thinking.
Everybody else is maybe just nobody wants to touch that offense right now. I mean, they've one bad game and everybody overreacts. I don't know.
Other than Mahomes, baby.
Yeah, how did he do last week?
Freaking 18 points.
That's still pretty good for a
bad
quarterback.
week.
I know,
That's
but
bad week.
they lost to the Colts. Come on. Let's move on though. Let's go on to the matchups here. So, Doc, you got tonight's game. We film our podcast here on Thursday nights. Right about game time, so we're unbiased, hopefully, during the game, unlike last week when I was seeing touchdowns scored while I'm talking trash about DK. But moving in, though, so Doc, why don't you take tonight's game? It's Giants at Patriots. This is a Super Bowl rematch, baby. Giants and Patriots. Get Eli on the field.
No kidding. I want to see Eli get in there, take down Tom Brady one last time for us. Just kidding. That's never going to happen again. Anyways, for the Giants, no, absolutely not. With the Giants, my only guy, and I will say he's a sleeper, is Darius Slayton.
Yep.
I think New England will get up big early on. It's not happening right now. Anyways, so I think there will be garbage time, and it will be Slayton getting that work from Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I don't mind the Slayton pickup either, or Slayton on the team right now either. I don't know. He looked good. He looked good. He stole a touchdown last week versus Minnesota. I don't think he's a bum, but he's a big play. He's a big play guy, and like you said, this could be a prime time game for him to do that. And I don't mind Hillman. They're gonna have to get the ball to somebody.
Boo.
I don't think he's gonna do good, but I would if you played him, I would be like, if Con played him, which I think he probably should have over Gio Bernard. Over Gio, he's playing Mixon and Gio. But we'll get into that later. Finish up what's your pick here?
So my boom is going to be Darius Slayton, and my bust is going to be Daniel Jones. I think that New England defense gets after him. He's just going to get a garbage time late. And that's going to be it. New England 34, the Giants 13 in a row.
Okay. Next game is Panthers at Bucks. I'll take that. That's our London game. Shout out to everybody. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning our time, so get your picks and plays in right away.
Don't sleep in like I did 2 years ago.
Yeah. Anyway, so this game was interesting. If it wasn't in London, I think it'd be a bit of a blowout. I think the Bucks would take it, but just because I don't know. I'm unsure about the Panthers. The Panthers seem to be good one week, and the next week I'm looking at them like, how are they still winning? I don't know. CMC is gonna be crazy. Wow, he's unreal. He's gonna have 9,000 points at the end of the year, but I will take the Panthers in this one. I think the Bucks passing D can be kind of exploited. Their run D's been pretty solid, so I'm a little excited to see what happens with McCaffrey. But I'm picking the Panthers here. My boom is none other than DJ Moore. Sadly, I wish I could pick Curtis Samuel, but I can't. I think it's going to be DJ Moore. And my bust, believe it or not, is CMC. I think that they have I'm talking a bust for him, not a bust overall.
Yeah, I was going to say, clarify the bust.
I'm not talking like he's going to have 5 points. I'm saying CMC has been dropping 25, 30 points a week in our league. I'm talking he comes down to earth at about 15 to 20 now. So not much of a bust, but I think this game was high scoring all around. So it's hard to pick a bust on a guy, who anybody's going to play well. I think the Panthers do take it, 35 to 28 over there in over the pond. Well, all right, Doc. So next matchup is an absolute, just a stunning matchup, a matchup that everybody's just got their eyes glued to the TV for. It's the Redskins at the Dolphins.
Bust everyone. Anyone and everyone.
Somebody's got to do good.
Yeah, so my good, and you can't see this, but I'm quoting good, is McLaurin's going to have a solid day of 5 catches, 80 yards. And Preston Williams is going to have 6 catches, 70 yards. And that's going to be about it for scoring. There will be I have this game, only 2 touchdowns, 1 for each team. I have Washington 16, Miami 10, and perhaps the shittiest game of the year.
So we're booming kickers in this one, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
We're booming the kicker, getting maybe 3 good kicks in for 15 points.
Whoever the Washington kicker is, pick him up.
Dustin Hopkins. Know your facts. Prepare yourself. Come on.
Fuck you.
Hey, we're family friendly here. You didn't hear that. All right, this next one is
Incorrect.
Eagles and Vikings. We're both going to do this one because it is the hometown. It is, the championship game rematch. we all
got
love.
shit on last time.
2 times ago, we did well last year versus them. We won last year versus them in the
last game that mattered.
But anyways, so Doc, why don't you start with this one?
I think it's gonna be a big game for Cook. Kirk came out and said, "Hey, like he's like so special. Like even in this offense, like he's the guy we need to get the ball to like every single game." With that being said, Eagles have a tough run defense. I think Cook gets 110 and gets in the end zone twice.
On the ground?
What?
On the ground?
No, total yards. Sorry.
Okay.
110 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Probably 1 receiving, 1 rushing. Then on Philly's side, I have Jeffrey going for 8, 110 and 2, and absolutely torching Xavier Rhodes because he's not good anymore.
Shadow Downs.
Yep. And so final score is Minnesota barely edging up Philly 27-25.
Okay, I like
Chris,
that.
what do you got?
I like that. I'm not really sure how I view Cook in this game. I don't think he's going to get a lot of ground room to run. I think Fletcher Cox just kind of swallows up the inside. They've been having a really stout run D this year. It's really hard to see him really do too much on the ground. But last game you saw Cook get 1 million catches. I mean, wow, he had like 50, I think. Maybe 52. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. But I think Cook does okay. I think with the PPR league and receiving, I think he does okay. But my boom is actually going to be Stephon Diggs. I think Diggs gets going. This Eagles pass D is kind of buns. I think, not very good. So hopefully Diggs gets going here. And my bust is actually going to be Jordan Howard. I think Jordan Howard just kind of gets swallowed up. I don't think he has a big game this week. I've heard a lot of people, other reporters, say that he's going to have a good game. I don't think so. I think the Vikings kind of pack it in and stop him.
My boom real quick. Alshon Jeffrey, obviously, and my bust. Complete opposite of you, Diggs. I don't think this is the week. I really don't think so.
I think he's had 1 week all year, so you're really reaching on that one.
Bust is the bust.
All right. So we're moving to the next matchup. It's Texans at Chiefs. It's a battle of the top 2 quarterbacks in the league. It's a coin flip for who you'd want running your franchise, I think. You want to be pass heavy, or do you want to be, just have an amazing show on the field? I like the Texans in this one, actually. You're cutting out really bad, so I'm just going to keep talking. The Texans in this one I like. I think that they have, kind of an average D. But, Casey comes out firing. I think the Texans have enough to stick with them. I think we see another decent game out of Will Fuller. Nothing like last week, but maybe like 5 or 6 catches, 100 yards, and maybe a touchdown. I think Nuke gets going again. But my boom is actually, believe it or not, going to be Carlos Hyde. And I'll explain that. I think they're going to run the ball to try to limit Casey's touches. That's what happened over in Indianapolis. That's what they did, is they tried to slow the game down and kind of make it their game. And I know the Texans are explosive, but I think Hyde gets a lot of touches here. I think maybe he, gets a decent run. I could see 100 yards and a touchdown out of him. Maybe not a touchdown, but I could see, 10 to 12 points out of him on the ground, rushing-wise, maybe a touchdown, giving him 18. My bust is Travis Kelce. I don't know why, but I haven't seen anything to be desired out of Travis Kelce this year. I think that, I don't know what it is. He'll get it going, but I just don't think he does it this week. I hope that stays true, but I picked the Texans here 42-38. Doc, are you still with me? No, you're not. So I'll take the next one. It'll be Saints at Jaguars. I would like to see here. I mean, we got Teddy Bridgewater versus a pretty good defense. Yeah, Calais Campbell off the edge. Maybe we see Jalen Ramsey back. Probably not. But A.J. Bouye, I mean, they've been getting kind of exposed this year. Here in a second. I think that this is a tough one. I'm sorry I'm not prepared. So we'll try to do a warm handoff here to Sam. Sam, are you still with me? No, he's not. Yeah. Okay, take over your matchups. Saints and Jaguars. Hurry up.
All right. Sorry for that mishap.
I was stuttering and stammering trying to get.
My boom is going to be Alvin Kamara. Now just wait. It's going to be 180 yards total, 2 touchdowns, 9 catches. And for Jacksonville, Leonard Fournette's going to have 121. With that being said, my boom is Kamara. My bust is DJ Shark. I think he comes back to earth just a little bit. 4 for 60. I have New Orleans 24, Jacksonville 20.
Okay. Thanks for making that, 5 minutes of the podcast really entertaining for our viewers.
Yeah. Thanks for holding down the fort, hopefully.
All right. So, no, I did not do a very good job. This next game I'll take is Seahawks at Browns. I don't know what to think about this game because we saw a couple weeks ago the Browns looked great and they just piss-pounded the Ravens. They did. They looked good and they beat the Ravens, but last week they looked terrible. I don't know. The run defense in Seattle is supposed to be pretty good, so maybe we don't see Chubb as much, which is kind of scary. Thinking you have to depend on Baker with how he's been playing this year. Sophomore slump is a real thing. It's a real thing. It's happened to so many good quarterbacks. The protection there's not good. Seattle, they just manage the game. Russell Wilson is an absolute menace. Chris Carson, my dude, shout out, got him for good old Randall Cobb last year. Never forget. Thanks, Ty. But Chris Carson's a beast. I mean, they're gonna. I think the Seahawks. It's just a hard game to pick because I think the Seahawks win handsomely here. I think it's a 42 to 28 kind of a rout with a couple garbage time, touchdowns on each end. I think my boom has got to be Chris Carson. I love him. I think he's really good. I think he's going to get a lot of receptions. Not a lot, but a lot for him, maybe 4 or 5. I think he gets a good 60 on the ground, or 60 in the air, and then 100 on the ground, and 2 touchdowns. My bust, hate to say it, Nick Chubb. Like I said, that Seattle run D is supposed to be pretty good. I don't know how you view it, but I think that he kind of gets slowed up this week. But I mean, it's a tough one because the Browns could be in that game. They could make that a game. I mean, it could be a really close one. So next pick would be Dokk here with the Bengals defeated, no winless, at Ravens.
All right. So I think this game is going to be a blowout. I think Lamar Jackson comes to play this week. I don't think last week was any indication of what he is going to be as a quarterback moving forward. With that being said, my boom is going to be Mark Andrews. 6 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown. Real solid day there. And my bust is going to be Joe Mixon. He didn't have that bad of a week last week, but I think that Ravens defense is really going to make Cincinnati throw the ball to no wide receivers. So, final score, Baltimore 34, Cincinnati 9.
See, I like that. I like hearing. I think the Ravens offense, they looked bad last week, but, I mean, they'll bounce back, I hope, because I have half their offense, too. But
I do think Ingram will have a good week.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna get up big, like you said. I think Lamar comes back, and it's with him. There's not a lot of tape. He needs to work on as a thrower. I'm saying. I mean, he ran the ball last year, and now he's throwing the ball more. So I think he's still working on that. So I think he'll come back, and especially versus kind of a crap team. Like you said, I think they both kind of go off. Ingram and Jackson, both those guys on my roster, shutout downs. Thank you.
Can I just interrupt? I think New England's defense scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
You, Connor Johnson.
I know. I was going to tell you at the when you were taking your boom bust, I said you might want to boom the defense. But anyways, to another game that could be super intriguing to me. I would say it's probably the game of the week in my eyes. 49ers at Rams. I mean, Jimmy G. Who's going to beat him? He's got 1 loss as a starter. Maybe 2. I don't remember for sure. Should have done my research. But he's a beast. Not really, but that team is. That defense is looking a lot better. That defense was abysmal in the passing game last year. I don't think they had a pick, if I remember right. And now this year, I mean, they started the next year with 2 pick sixes and a couple of, like, they just look really good all around. Matt Burrito, like, get him the ball. I mean, I love him. I called him as my guy to succeed a couple years ago. Right, Doc?
Taco Burrito.
I called Burrito that pick a couple years ago. I was a year too early.
Yeah, definitely a year too early.
I called the high downfall and the Burrito uptake, and everybody was like, "You're stupid." And then the next year, Hyde goes to nowhere, and Burrito comes to success. I'm a year too early on everything. Give me a year. If I say it, timestamp it, add a year to it. But, anyways, I think this is a high-scoring game regardless of the 49ers D being good. I think that the Rams, if Gurley plays, I think it's a well-balanced offense. But if he's out, which I'm actually expecting him to be out this week, I think they're going to try to just, like, although it is a divisional game, but I think that Gurley's out, and I think my boom is going to be Matt Burrito. I think he's going to bust a couple good ones, a couple of touchdowns. I think he gets 2 and with 80 yards, maybe 100 yards. And my bust, it hurts to say it, because I have a high chance of being wrong, Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp gets not swallowed up, but like I said, I think that 49ers defense is just good.
Can I interject you real quick? So you said that Cooper Kupp was a good pick in the LFFL.
Yeah, because he could be. I picked him to be. I think he's a good pick because he could be the number 1 guy or he could be the last guy. So I think it's a good pick. I said that in there. I said he could be the number 1 guy, but he could also bust and be the worst.
Just clarifying. I just wanted to make sure.
I contradict myself constantly, but
correct.
The pick, like I said, it was a high scoring game in my review or preview of the matchup, and I'm not going to pick a high scoring game now because I talked myself out of it. I think it's 25-28 in favor of the Niners, moving to 6-0, and I love it. 5-0 actually, I think, aren't they?
5-0, there you go.
Yeah, because they had their bye week already. So 5-0, 49ers over the Rams, 28-25. My boom is Matt Burrito, a.k.a. Wrap 'em Up Burrito, and my bust is Cooper Kupp. Sadly, although I'm probably going to be wrong, and I love it. Good for you, Con. If I pick them in the bust, they usually go for 50. So next pick is the Battle of the Birds. It is the Falcons at the Cardinals. Doc, what do you got?
Well, I think the Falcons end up shredding the Cardinals, quite literally. Start everyone on Atlanta's offense except for Mohamed Sanu.
Boo!
Julio, Ridley, Ryan, Freeman, I think all
Ito Smith.
Even Austin Hooper. I hate to say it because I don't think he's very good, but
hey, the Cardinals are like the worst defense versus tight end, so you hammer the start on Austin Hooper. Statistically, like, if he doesn't have a good week, that really proves your point that maybe he isn't that good. But the Cardinals have been getting absolutely toasted.
I tried doing the same thing last week with Tyler Eifert, and that was to no avail. But anyways, my boom.
Bad team.
True. My boom is going to be Kyler Murray. I think he won't turn the ball over. He'll get some yards, but then in garbage time he'll get a couple touchdowns to save his day.
Like he always does.
My bust is Mohamed Sanu. I think it's going to be a heavy Julio and Calvin Ridley day. So final score, Atlanta 38, Arizona 17.
38-17?
Correct.
Damn, that's steep. See, all right, I mean, I don't want to touch on every pick, but I like Sanu this week. I'm just gonna say that. I wouldn't boom him. I wouldn't start him on my team. Actually, I probably wouldn't. My wide receivers suck. But I mean, I don't. I mean, Shurhan Sanu, baby. So he's been for. We're moving on. I'm done talking about him. I like him. I like him. Anyways, I got the boys at the Jets. Now, Darnold's back. That's a big plus for that whole team. Even their defense. Having your number 1 quarterback back and, knowing that he'll sustain drives is got to be relieving for that defense. Sam Darnold got mono. I don't know if he's kissing boys or something. I don't know. But I mean, there's not anybody in this matchup I don't like. Everybody on the Cowboys offense, I like it. I mean, even Witten. I think Witten has a decent game. Couple of catches, 50 yards, whatever. The Jets, I mean, everybody on the offensive side, I mean, actually, I don't know who their tight end is. Is it that Ryan Griffin guy? I probably wouldn't play him. So maybe I lied to you. I wouldn't play their tight end. I don't know who it is. But Demaryius Thomas, I think he'll look better with Darnold. We got Robbie Anderson, big play Anderson, baby. Let's go. Like, I want to see him pop off again. But I'm still picking the Cowboys. They just have way too much firepower, and they're just a good team. Picking the Cowboys here. My boom would be Zeke. I think they're going to run all over the Jets. It's pretty easy to boom Zeke, but I think Zeke has an unreal stat line. My bust would be Dak, just because I don't think he's going to have to throw that much, which hurts our listener league, but I don't think he's going to have to throw much. I think Zeke's going to, I mean, they saw what happens when you have to throw a lot with Dak. It's not pretty all the time. So, Cowboys over the Jets, 35-17. And like I said, my boom is Zeke and my bust is Dak. Next game, Titans-Broncos. Dokk, take it away.
In this game, I think it's going to be pretty low scoring for the NFL these days. I have Derrick Henry going for 120 and 2. For the Broncos, Emmanuel Sanders, shout out KC. He will have a 90 and a touchdown. My boom is Derrick Henry. You know, the 120 and 2 is going to happen, I think. And my bust is going to be Cortland Sutton, who's been right hot to start the year. With the final score being Tennessee 23, beating Denver with 16.
Nice pause for emphasis. I like that.
Yeah, I totally lost where I was at.
I like Cortland Sutton this year, though. He's looking good. But I do appreciate you giving my boy Sanders some love because you know I need it. So.
Yeah, you do.
Going into another pick here, Steelers at Chargers. I think this game is either really, really yucky, or I think it's heavy in the Chargers' favor here. Yucky in that we saw Phillip Rivers look like dog shit last week. We saw Melvin Gordon look like dog shit last week. We saw Austin Eckler salvage a day with like 25,000 catches. That's about it. I mean, that's what made his day good for fantasy. Although I don't think it'll be yucky. I think the Chargers, kind of handle business here. I think it's a 35-14. My boom is actually on the losing end with James Conner. I think Conner gets a lot of work. Their third-string quarterback. Mason Rudolph may be coming back, but I doubt it. I think he gets going on the ground a little bit. We saw them kind of get tore up last week. I also think he gets a couple of good receptions for some chunk yards with Samuels out. I know Benny Snell will play some, but I think he gets some chunk yards here, so that looks good for him. So I'm seeing about 140 and 2 touchdowns. And my bust is on the Chargers side, and I think it's Austin Eckler. I know it's steep to say with his PPR, but I'm saying just a bust in that I don't think he gets as much. I think he gets probably 5 receptions, like 25 yards, and maybe only like 20 yards on the ground. I think Melvin Gordon gets the ball more. I know he got like 15 touches last week, but I think these touches, I think he goes up to maybe 15 to 18, maybe even topping the 20 touches, which I would love. But I think he's more productive with the yardage. I think he gets more receptions. I think he overall produces more. I know he's not necessarily back to prime time shape or football form, but I do think he does better. Like I said, 35-14. We'll go 17. We'll give Boswell some love. 35-17. Boswell gets a kick in there. Boom is James Conner, and bust is Austin Eckler. What do you think about those boom busts? I know I'm biased, hoping that Eckler has a bad game, but what do you think? Is that reasonable?
I think Eckler outscores Melvin Gordon. I don't think it's this week for Melvin yet. I think it'll be next week. It only takes guys a few weeks to get back to where they were at.
I mean, it didn't take Zeke.
Football shape and all that. Zeke is unreal. That offense line was unreal. And you can say the same thing about Tom Brady coming back, but he's the GOAT, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Only reason why I brought Dokk in there is because I get a text like right before the show. Not even about what we're talking about. He just throws the jab right in my face. He says, I think Melvin doesn't do well this week. So I just wanted him to say that. Get it on record.
Try to get Chris to throw off his game.
Yeah, maybe get some better Wi-Fi over there at the Dokk Bakken household.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right.
In and out, whatever.
Last pick of the week. It is a divisional matchup. It is Lions at Packers. It is the NFC North. Let's go here, Doc. Tell me what you got.
Well, I think Kerryon Johnson has a big day. I'm saying 130 total yards and 2 touchdowns.
Boo.
For the Green Bay Packers, F them, by the way. Aaron Rodgers has a big day, 350 and 2. With that being said, my boom is Rodgers. My bust is Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And the final score is Green Bay 27, Detroit 24. Boo.
I think it's pretty easy to pick a guy who's had one 10-point week as your bust. But I like it because you're hedging your bets. I like it. I like this game. I think the Lions are better than their record shows, better than what we think. They hung in with the Chiefs. I know the Chiefs haven't looked as good as they normally have. I don't know. I like this matchup. I hope that the Packers go down, but I don't think they will. I think it's a little bit lower scoring than you predicted. Oh, pardon me. I think it's a little lower scoring. I think it's 24-21 in favor of the Packers. I do think Kerryon gets a touchdown, but I don't think he's very efficient with it. I think he maybe, 2.5 to 3 yards a carry. 20 carries, he'll get 20 touches, and he'll get 60, 70 yards. My boom is Kenny Golladay, and I hate that because I really want Marvin Jones because that's on my team. But my boom is Golladay. I think Golladay will have a good game. I think we're starting to see the downfall of this Packers D. Not that they're going to be like atrocious the rest of the year, but I don't think they're going to be that like, oh my God, this is amazing D. And my bust is Aaron Jones. I don't think Aaron Jones is going to have an amazing week. We've seen more bad weeks out of Aaron Jones than we have seen good weeks. But the good weeks from Aaron Jones have been absolutely astronomical. I mean, they've been amazing. But so the bads have been, the highs are high and the lows are low with Aaron Jones. And I think we come back down to earth and we go to the core and he has a terrible game. But like I said, 24-21 Packers. But that's okay because, it's still, we're playing for the wild card spot already anyways. It's all right. So that's it for our NFL matchups. Now we'll get into the league matchups. We'll just breeze through these quickly. We already, our friends over at the Hawk do this, so we won't get into it too much. But last week, our guest, Big Daddy Weem, Camerica, went 2-4. That's shit. Pick it up next time.
Boo!
I personally have went 4-2, and I've been 4-2 every single time I've picked this year when I did my Blazed Up and Smoke challenges and when I was on the podcast, The Hawk. I've been 4-2 every week, so consistency is key here. And Doc had a really nice week last week with 5-1, and his only bad pick was his own game. So,
yeah, fuck me for that, by the way.
Yeah,
I'd rather be 1-5 and a win than 5-1 with a loss.
Yeah, well, I told you early in the week that Downs' team could put up a lot of points, and you said, it's not going to happen.
You said he could easily put up 160.
And would he put up like 140 on your face, and he didn't even have a guy play?
129.
Whatever. We're not getting into this on the pod. All right. So we'll start here with your game again. So hopefully you get it wrong again, and you keep getting it wrong, because I hope you pick you and you lose every game then. But today's pick, or this pick tonight, is Ty's tent. Ty, where's my tent, dude? To you, Drogan, what is your pick here?
Looking at Ty's tent lineup, I think he has 2 good running backs for me. I think he wins I'm going to say like 125 to 115.
All right. Well, I personally don't know if Gurley's going to play. So that is kind of a big boost for you. But
He has Malcolm Brown, though, too. So good for him.
yeah, but we want to see Darrell Henderson play. Or Darnell Anderson. Anyways, I don't like his receivers. Like you said, you busted Chark. You know, Landry is never anything special. I busted Baker, didn't I? No, I busted Chubb. But I busted a Chubb. I'm actually going to pick you. I'm going to pick you. I'm going to eat my own words. Like I said, I boomed Diggs. I think you boomed Ridley, kind of. You said, no, maybe not boomed it, but said he's going to be good. Yep. I think Gallup is going to feast. I mean, I like your team. I like your team better, so I'm going to pick you, and I'm going to pick a 126 to 101. I'm going to have Ty's 10 come down to earth. So why don't you introduce our next game?
Next we have Recycling Bin versus Johnny, the recently no longer undefeated Johnny, I might add.
Yeah.
I will start out here looking at this matchup. I think Recycling Bin, their receivers are going to be just too much for Johnny. And with the injuries to Johnny's lineup, I'm thinking it's going to be Recycling Bin 135, Johnny 95. Sorry, Casey.
You know, it happens, and I couldn't agree more. I love my team. I love where we're headed this year. I do hate that, you know, Saquon's out, Ingram's out, Shepard's out. It's a whole lot of points, honestly. But I do think, you know, I have the advantage running back wise. He's got dog shit running backs, but I mean, I think I don't think DJ plays this week, but he does have Chase Edmonds too, so that hurts even more. But like you said, Julio, Russell, and Michael Thomas, they are just gonna mess me up.
Mark Andrews too.
Yeah, but if that happens, it means Lamar's doing good too, though. So that's kind of a wash in my eyes. But I'm picking Recycling Bin. I picked against myself back-to-back weeks, and I hate that, but I'd rather be right. I'm picking 120 Recycling Bin to, I think I put up a respectable, like 109.9, like not 110, but like right there on the cusp. So that sucks. Next matchup is the Commish versus the team who can't make a win. I mean, they suck. They suck this year. I'll start with this one. The Commish, team is just powerful. Like we said earlier, the Patriots already have a touchdown. They're sitting at 16 points. That's not going to change my bias because I would have picked the Commish regardless. But, I mean, that's already just backing me even more. Wentz might have a bad game, though, versus Minnesota. But overall, I like his team. I don't like Poe's team. I don't know. Commissioner here, I'm going to go coming down to earth from 200 to about 129. I think everybody kind of has an average week to about 96 for Sniffer's Roo. What do you got, Doc?
I think Roger Goodell's wide receivers. I mean, everybody can pop off. It's just crazy. With that being said, I think they win 140 Sniffers Row. I'm going to say 101. Just barely reaching that triple digit.
Okay. Next pick is Newcomer versus Ranger Rick. Why don't you start with this one?
Looking at this matchup, Gardner Minshew Mania in a starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like it.
I do too.
Against New Orleans, could have a day, could not. I mean, he's a rookie. He averaged 202. So it's just a solid day. But looking at the rest of this game, I have to give the edge to Rick Rangers. I think his running backs outscore newcomers by quite a few, actually. considering he's starting Kenyon Drake in his flex. Not a fan of that pick. I just want to avoid Miami at all costs right now. So I'm going to pick Rick Rangers, 128, newcomer, 113.
I'm going to put some respect on newcomer because he beat me, although my team is very banged up right now. But the Minshew mania, man, I mean, like, the Saints are like 30th in points allowed to quarterbacks. Minshew's, I got it. I like it. But I'm looking at Rangers roster. I'm going to go with newcomer. I like Zeke better than I like Chubb. Like I said, I'm busting Chubb. I think Michelle is just not good this year, at least. Carson wins that matchup. Overall, I like it. I do think he needs to pull the Kenyon Drake, like you said. He does have DJ Moore, and I did boom him. But he probably doesn't listen to this podcast and won't change it. But I'm still picking him regardless. I don't think it's going to matter. I think he has a big week from Zeke, like I said earlier. And I'm going to go 130 to 121. Update, Rick Rangers bench just scored a touchdown. Golden Tate. For a 64-yard touchdown, so that's 12 points. And Tate's sitting at 17 points right now. Should have played him. That sucks. So,
yeah.
Moving on. Next matchup is Logan versus Michael. Team tracks for Shroot Farms. Why don't you go ahead and take that one, Doc?
So, my bust was Daniel Jones, and he is starting him. With that, I don't really like Trax's team at all. I think his only bright spot is going to be Eckler getting 8 or 9 catches, so that would be a 17, 18 point game. But I expect the Packers to win, and therefore Aaron Rodgers, he was my boom in that matchup. So I have to give the edge to Shroot Farms with his wide receivers as well. Amari Cooper, let's go. Need a lot of volume from him in the LFFL. Anyways, Shroot Farms, I'm going to say 133, tracks 95.
Yeah, and with quite a turnaround with Shroot Farms. I remember earlier this year we talked about how he was maybe the worst team in the league, or one of them. And that's really transitioned to either your tag or it's a pose tag, and I love it. I question Trax's just plays here. I know Devonta Freeman is really disappointed, and he hasn't been what people thought he was going to be. But why is he starting Josh Gordon over that?
Especially in a flex.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Lockett and Odell. It's hard to move one of those guys out for Gordon. But Freeman, baby, he's playing Arizona. Arizona's buns. That alone, I think, is just bad news. I think Freeman has a big game. So I think, maybe he would have won with Freeman in there, but he won't, because I think we're going to see some Amari Cooper show, some Tyler Boyd show. I mean, he's already projected over him, and he doesn't even have a flex in. Michael doesn't. So I'm picking him. I'm hoping Cooks can play, too. If Cooks can play, I think Mike routes him. If not, I think it's maybe a little closer than I want to say. But I think Mike wins 128 to 101. I'll give him some respect. I'll keep him in the 100s. But not by much. And moving into our last matchup here, it is the touchdowns, the powerhouse after week 1, everybody's favorite team. My have things changed to United States of America, our former guest. Doc, let's have you start here because I'm looking at this one and I'm not sure.
So, just a little fun fact. Comerica is going down to Lax this weekend to party up with Downs. I want to see some snaps of a black guy or two come Sunday. I think it's going to be bad over lacrosse. Anyways, I am going to favor... there's a lot of good matchups here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to give a slight edge to Comerica in a high-scoring game. I'm going to say 143 Downs, 137.
Yeah, I like that pick. I would have picked Downs had he had Jeffrey. If he would have Jeffrey instead of Christian Kirk in the lineup, I would like this lineup a lot going into this week. The quarterbacks are a wash. I think Lev Bell has a better game than Kamara. I think Henry does better than James White. Shout out Ben for that trade. Appreciate you. Kirk versus Hill. I mean, I love seeing Hill back. I take Hill. I mean, you can't take Kirk. Thielen versus McLaurin. I take Thielen. McLaurin, whatever. I busted Kelsey, and I boomed Carlos Hyde. And I don't know, man. I would have picked Downs, but I just think America edges this one out. I don't think it's pretty on either side. I think it's 115 to 117 in favor of Comerica. And that kind of wraps things up on kind of a sour note. Maybe we need to look at how we match things up. Downs, if you would have played Jeffrey, I think you would have won. Or if you would have had him, I guess. So, yeah. So that is the end of our picks here. Doc, why don't you kind of give us a wrap here?
So that's all we have for the scoop. We are kind of in the works of figuring out what the LFFL punishment is. We'll need to get everybody to agree with what it's going to be. With that being said, tune in next week. Doc and Casey out.
Deuce.